Pocket Now Daily gets from 500 to 600 comments every day, sometimes 1,000, and we try our best to respond to as many as possible, but it's kind of difficult, and we love a lot of your comments, so let's do something different once again. I'm Jaime Rivera, this is Pocket Now, and this is our Pocket Now Daily recap for last week. So last Monday I asked you, what should the pricing be for the iPhone 5C? The news were about the fact that this was going to be the cheap iPhone, and obviously Apple was going to try to be aggressive about it, and we got 721 comments, out of which, for example, Keith Axel Russell Rio says, realistically speaking, $329 to $399, and that would have been the perfect price tag. I feel that we now know exactly how much it costs, which is kind of preposterous. It's just too expensive to be considered a budget entry-level phone, and I kind of think that Apple doesn't see it that way. If the price tag would have been around $329, probably $350, it would have been compelling, obviously off contract. Gogi Production says, Apple will never price anything low, and you've got a point right there. Definitely, Apple is not aggressive when it comes to pricing. Some people thought about that with the first generation iPad because of how tablets were extremely expensive back then, but it's not the reality right now. And Hacksaw314 says, is it my turn to bid? $1, Bob, and yeah, come on down. You've been selected for the Price is Right, and if you don't know what I'm saying, you're probably too young to drink. Last Tuesday, I asked you if you thought that Microsoft always planned on buying Nokia because, well, it ended up buying it for a very, very cheap price when compared to even Skype. So we've got 521 comments, out of which, for example, Bradley Launcher says, ELOP was a Trojan sent from Microsoft to destroy Nokia. Mission accomplished, and he said it. Another YouTuber says, $7 billion is a lot of money to you and me, but for a company as large as Nokia, that is nothing. Nokia got ripped off by Microsoft, and I do believe so. I mean, think about how much money Microsoft paid for Skype. Skype, which doesn't have an assembly plant, doesn't have hardware, doesn't build anything. Skype is just a software product. It's an idea. Nokia is the biggest smartphone maker in history in the past, and now it's pretty much a $7 billion company that's owned by Microsoft. Good point. NVIDIA Fanatic 13 imagines Microsoft thinking, oh no, Google bought Motorola. How will we keep up? We shall buy a dying company as well. Mwah, mwah. And no, it wasn't really a dying company. They ended up killing the company and then buying it. Then last Wednesday, I asked you if you liked the Galaxy Note 3, the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014, or the Galaxy Gear, because Samsung had just had their event at IFA, and we already knew what they were going to launch this fall, and so far, for example, we got 736 comments. Jake Wood says, I like the Note 3 and the Note 10.1. The Galaxy Gear is kind of gimmicky and too expensive, and I mean, $300 for a smartwatch with a bad camera, a small display, and an unproven concept, I get your point. It's too expensive. And My Neon City says, I definitely like the design of the Note 3, however, it's just too large for me, and that's the case for a lot of people. The Galaxy Note lineup is not for everyone. It is a good thing to try out. It's always something great to try something new. I love the Note 2. It's probably one of my favorite phones, but then again, I've got big hands. And then PC Redito R says, I'm getting the Note 3 and slapping Nova Launcher on it, and I'm good to go. And you clearly have never owned the Galaxy Note before. The S Pen is pretty much unusable without TouchWiz, so sorry to reveal this to you, but Nova Launcher won't do much for you. Yes, a lot of things will work, but not really what you would buy a Note 3 for. Then on Thursday, I asked you if you're still considering a Galaxy Gear after some restrictions that were revealed. The news were about the fact that the Galaxy Gear will only work with Android 4.3 when certain specific restrictions that are pretty much based on Galaxy phones and their APIs. And so we got 367 comments, and one YouTuber said, absolutely not. It's not worth it. I'd rather just get a phone instead of just buying a phone companion smartwatch. And think about it, when you get the Nexus 4 for $200, $250 for the 16 gig model, which is still more affordable than the Galaxy Gear, it is pointless to have an accessory that'll just save you 3 seconds to pull your phone out of your pocket. That's my opinion as well. Definitely a great comment. Then Firestar PWNS says, I never considered it because I have a Pebble and it's extremely overpriced. And you're right. If you consider what the price is for the Pebble, you consider what the price is for the Galaxy Gear, and yes, you get a color display here and you get a camera that you're never going to use. Yes, I would definitely recommend that you consider the Pebble. At least start with the Pebble. See if it's something that you need. See if it does solve your problems, and then probably sell it on eBay and get the Galaxy Gear if you want. But so far, I'm not sold. And Mr. French H21 says, I'm still getting it. It's because I plan on getting a Note 3 anyways. LOL. And yeah, if you're getting a Note 3, it does make sense, but you're not getting any subsidy for the watch, man. You've got to have a lot of cash to buy that thing. Hey, you can notice I'm not a fan of the Gear, sadly. And then finally on Friday, I asked you if the Nexus 5 would be more attractive to you if it were adequately priced and have great specifications, because the Nexus lineup has lately been more of a pushover phone, not really popular, and well, we've got this device from LG at the FCC that's clearly a Nexus 5 and it's got great specs. We got 686 comments, out of which one YouTuber said yes, if priced between $350 and $450. For me, the price range would be from $350 to anything below $400 for it to be a budget phone, because that's the way the Nexus lineup is sold recently, and aside from that, it's going to be sold without a contract, most likely. And without a subsidy, $400 is already steep, unless, again, even if the specs are great, if they want to continue with that base model of no subsidies, $400 is already a lot. And then Arturo Rosales says, I'm waiting for the Nexus 5 and hope to keep the low price for the device. You know, if the specs are great, and Google with their whole subsidy of the Google Play Store model could figure it out, they would really disrupt the market. They would drop the prices on almost every smartphone in the market. And yeah, if they would get carrier subsidies, it would be even better. But that's it for last week's recap. Thank you very much for watching. If you want your comments to be featured on this video, a couple of tips. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up on your comments so they'll be easier to spot. Please follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. I'm Jaime Rivera. You can follow me on Twitter at Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. Again, thank you very much for watching. See you later today for the next daily. See you later this week for the next recap. Thank you very much.